Good evening, welcome back to my channel. So back here behind me is a little gas can. What I'm going to do is convert that into an extended run gas tank for my Honda EU2200 generator. About 10 years ago when I first bought my truck and camper, I had built a different style gas can using a motorsport style gas can with a long tube and a boat style outboard motor fitting on the top of that cap that goes on the tank. It worked, but as the fuel got down to about halfway, the tank would lose siphon and it wouldn't suck fuel out anymore, and that was just simply due to the height of that gas can. So I decided to try this. There's a couple of eBay sellers that sell an extended run gas tank kit with the hose and all the fittings and gas cap with a fitting on the top and everything, but I opted to get a smaller tank. There's two different eBay sellers. One of them sells just a 6-gallon tank. The other one sells a 6-gallon tank and either a 3 or a 3.5-gallon tank, and I didn't really like the design of that 3-gallon tank. So this is made by Scepter. I picked this up at Walmart for about $45. It's 3-gallon, 11.4 liter. Really easy to handle because it's so small and compact. And then I already had some of the parts and pieces for this kit, which would be my gas caps, which I've had for quite a while from eBay. I only ordered bits and pieces that I needed, which is going to be a hose, and these are Moeller style fittings. They're actually, Moeller is the brand name, and they're super high quality. I had asked one of the other eBay vendors what brand they sold, and they said, oh, they're just generic. He didn't tell me the brand name. So it looks like an air fitting, but it's not. There's a little ball in the end, a little pin in the end of that, and that pin engages that ball. So what we do is this fitting goes on the tank, and this 90-degree fitting goes on the gas cap. And this is marine rated hose. It's STG-US Coast Guard type B1-15 SAE. And then there's that SAE rating, J1527-something. It's kind of hidden under that zip tie. And we'll just thread that in. Using outboard motor tank is something that I should have done a long time ago, because every time I use that motorsport style gas can I fought with trying to get it primed to the generator tank, and then it would lose prime as the fuel got low. This does have a little locking mechanism on the cap, which is pretty common for any kind of a portable gas can these days. And there's another company that makes a nice small gas can too that's either 3 or 3.5 gallon, and that tank is made by the same company that makes these fittings, Moeller. It's spelled M-O-E-L-L-E-R. Their specialty is marine equipment. What we'll do here is then just hook that hose up. And this hose is about probably 4 feet long. One other thing to note is this cap has a little vent on the top. So close it, turn it clockwise, open it, turn it counterclockwise. If you don't open this while you're running your generator, or if you were using this as an outboard motor fuel tank, the engine is going to vapor lock and it's not going to suck gas out of the tank. These are the original caps that I bought, and then I added this outboard motor fitting on the top. But this quick disconnect style is a far superior fitting. Just unthread that. This setup is going to work way better than that motorsports tank. I use the motorsports tank primarily because I found a video on YouTube when I was researching tanks, and thought, you know, I already have one of those tanks. I might as well use it for something in addition to hauling my motorcycle fuel. So that's why I went with that route, rather than spending a bunch of money on a whole kit off of eBay or another commercial vendor that sells them through their own website. We take a close-up look here. Really high quality crimp connections on the end. I'll include a link in the description below as far as the name of the eBay seller that I got these from. And one other thing that I should note is I wanted quick disconnect on both ends. So that way when I'm handling this tank, I'm not dealing with trying to carry a coiled up hose and have the hose get all out of control while I'm storing or carrying the gas tank around, whether it be fueling it up, taking it out of my trailer for storage, or when it's in the trailer. This removable hose will be a much cleaner setup. You can do a fairly budget price system by having a hose attached directly to the tank here and also threaded into the fitting here rather than the quick disconnects, but this is going to be a whole lot easier to manage. If your generator has this crazy little keeper thing attached to the cap, you'll have to pull the cap out along with the fuel screen, and then you could disengage this from the fuel screen once you get all of that out, and then we pop this little clip down here at the bottom. I'm going to use a pair of needle nose pliers and push this little washer back down so you can expose the hole for the pin and clip. There we go. That way we can remove this and use our aluminum machined fuel cap. This shows exactly why I wanted a 90-degree fitting on the fuel cap. That way you don't have a hose sticking straight up out of the fuel cap on a threaded in like a hose barb or whatnot, because having the hose pointed up like that, and if you have the gas can sitting on a higher level, or maybe specifically if it's sitting on the ground at the same level as the generator, that hose very well could possibly kink and then block your fuel flow. One way I've used this system is I've set my gas tank up on my trailer fender, and what's nice about that small gas tank is it's pretty much the perfect width of the trailer fender, so it sits there really nice. I've also used a milk crate. I just think it's a good idea to have the gas tank sitting a little bit higher than the generator, so once you get a siphon going, you're not going to lose siphon. Yesterday I ran the generator for about 10.5 hours, running my air conditioner all day, and I still have about probably close to ½ inch of fuel. Of course I can't see it through the translucent red tank, but about ½ inch of fuel left, and I started out with 2.5 gallons plus maybe about a ¼ gallon in the generator fuel tank. So I'm pretty impressed with the amount of runtime I can get out of one tank of fuel. The reason I know it was 2.5 gallons is because that's what that little tank right there holds, right up to that line. I always fill it with 2.5 gallons. So I use that tank, or that gas can, to fill this one before I started up the generator yesterday. So overall, I've been really happy with this tank.